I'm Greg Rowles here at the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre. You guys are in for a very special treat this evening as we get to know the cast and our host. Make them welcome Tom and Deby Cochran.
Hi, my first question is for everyone. What I'd like to know and what everybody in town wants to know is what makes this theater unique? What sets it aside from all the other theaters that are in town?
Can I be the first to say that? Because it's kind of been the vision since, really since day one, is that we want to create an atmosphere where patrons get to come and see a different show every single night. Yes, there's live theater everywhere, but usually the content of the show is the exact same time. So in this show, it truly will. If you come on a Monday night and see the show, when you come Tuesday night, you're going to see different elements of the show that will be different. So the band's going to have different instrumentals they're going to be playing. Chris, Cindy, Jason, myself will have different songs that we're presenting to the audience. So it's not the exact same thing every night. And the great thing about that is we get interchangeable parts. And if we find out as the show continues to grow, we can always add new shows or new songs, new elements of the show in it. So it's always going to be something new for people to see.
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, actually, I'm going to say what you've said, Greg, that this is a show with heart. The biggest thing I'm excited about being a part of this show is the people in it. It's one of the main reasons I signed on is I found out who was going to be in. I'm like, well, I can't turn that down. I have to do that. It's a family and we love each other. And I feel like when that's happening up here, you're going to feel it out there. And so that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One of the things that I wanted to add to that and kind of go with the people on the stage, because the short answer to that question, apart from what we can offer, is no other theater has all of us. And there's a reason we're all here. There's a reason we chose to be here. And we all have different backgrounds. We all come from different venues and performing opportunities out there. I did a lot of cruise ship work and a lot of, I'd say, big theater work prior to this, where it's all about the show-stopping numbers and the lights and the sets and all this sort of stuff, which is exciting and fun. But we're not you don't get to know the entertainers. You don't get to feel like you're part of the show in that sense. And a venue like this, I feel like you're going to get true, intimate, live, real music, real performances, and you're going to be part of our family just the same.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, you said it right there. It's all about the family, and you've got such a great big family on this stage. There's so much talent, and like Greg said, all this talent and no egos. It's nothing but a lot of fun here, and that goes to our other cast, our other family, the audience.
Yeah.
As soon as they come in the door, we're going to make them feel welcome. We're going to get them through concessions, get them in their lovely, comfortable seats, and make them part of the show. We may even pull somebody out of the crowd every now and then. You don't know. But it's all about family. They're our family. You're our family. It's good times, great music, and good people.
That's right.
All right.
And you talked about other places have, you know, the big lights, all of that. We have that too. And, you know, the running joke is that Greg likes lights. And by gosh, I think we have enough lights. And we'll also be able to do some fun light tricks and things like that. But you'll never know. You know, you never know what happens.
Yeah.
Every night could be different.
And it's no secret, Greg likes clothes. There's going to be some awesome clothes in this show.
How many times have you changed me over the years, Susan? And named my suits, right?
I like to give people and clothes nicknames.
Yeah, you named all their outfits, all of our outfits. Yeah.
He had a Thurston House too. There's all kinds of things you can do to make it more personal there.
Yeah.
But getting to work with this cast and working with them personally about their wardrobe on stage is a unique experience from my point of view, because usually you're just told what you're going to wear and you're going to wear it and that's going to be it. We're doing something a little different here. We're going to, definitely weigh in with you guys but I'm going to tell you what it looks like.
And you get the final say, right, Susan?
I want to see your Gilligan outfit.
That's coming.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on what you said, Wayne, about there's no egos, and when we several months ago when we got together and started to figure out what decide what's going in the show, coming up with ideas, we were sitting around the table, come up with some ideas up, but and I've worked with some of these guys for a while, and some I haven't worked before, but this isn't just the four singers coming up with stuff. We've had a lot of people, Kenny and Mark and all these people, try to on this process of creating the content and content what goes in the show. So it's really cool. It's not like I'm not going to sit there and be like, how dare you say that? It's really cool that Kenny and a lot of these guys have put in some really great, come up with some really great ideas, and just having that creative control too. That if we do something one night, we're like, hey, that kind of. Maybe that didn't go over as well as we thought. We can change it out, and that's also exciting. And I'm excited about doing impressions. I'm going to be doing some impressions in this show. So come out and see. You never know.
That's the silliest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah. Take your false teeth out, put them on backwards, and bite yourself to death. Anyway, but yes, that's going to be some fun things that we're going to be doing here in the show. So come check us out here at the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre.
Everybody's points, man, is spot on.
Yeah.
The first one was when Cindy said about the heart and the people. Some of this cast I've worked with 6 nights a week for years. Some just a few shows every now and then, and some years ago. Mm-hmm. Jerry and I worked together years ago, and our paths crossed again. And the possibility for us to be able to reproduce something that people like that's great is really cool, and we're all kind of pros at that, but every now and then we want to be ourselves. I want to go out there and be Kenny Duncan on guitar for a little while. I think that's going to be special. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep from laughing. One of the things I think
So are we.
One of the things I think is going to be really special here, and you got to know these clowns like I do backstage, is the spontaneity. And I think in this show you'll see some of that you won't get to see, certainly not in other shows that we've been in, where if somebody tries to heckle Greg on stage, in other places you can't just stop the show. But here you can.
That's right. Yeah.
If you get to watch this and you come, just be careful.
Yeah.
Well, that's my input.
Again, so many great things have been said, and piggybacking on all of that, I think what I'm so excited about is that, like we said, it's such a personal statement, and it's going to be not a show that was created elsewhere for people that anybody could plug in and out of. These are all really personal stories that we're sharing, and we don't get to do that much. And it's also something that this town doesn't have, and something that I haven't done for a very long time, is like it has a little bit more of a cabaret feel at times. So we get, we have that opportunity to storytell and to get intimate and to tell jokes and to not just, follow a script or follow a formula. We're creating the formula, and that's really exciting. And, I think we're all fully aware that it's going to be a creative process that might be trial and error. And again, going back to the ego thing, that there are no egos, and that we all have grace with each other, and we're all in for this process. And I'm so looking forward to opening night and the run of the show, but I'm equally looking forward to the rehearsal process, because this will be unlike anything that we've ever done before, and in a good way. There are things that we are going to be able to do that we've never been able to do before. There'll be things that we didn't think we could do, we'll be stretched to do, and bring out those other gifts in other people. So I think there's going to be a great exchange of ideas, exchange of talent, new talents discovered, and new older friendships strengthened, new friendships formed, and I just know that that's all going to be evident when that curtain opens opening night. So I'm looking forward to that process as well.
Coming from the drummer's perspective,
Who's that?
Where?
Tell me when you find him.
We can't see him.
no, it's for me. There's a word "feel," and I think that's for me is the key. I think there is a feel here as opposed to something where it's so computerized, so regimented. Which, yes, we want everything to be right, of course, but there's some wiggle room here, and we trust each other. I think that's just going to grow even more. That we're going to trust each other, and the spontaneity is absolutely key. Also important for me. I'm going to see some new backsides. So.
That's important for all of us.
I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know, that may be a good or bad. I don't know. This is where you're sitting.
I'm just looking forward to this new experience. This is all new to me. So I've been hanging out with my husband Jerry since we moved here to the beach, being his sidekick with the music thing. So I'm just thankful to be here and getting to know all of you guys and working with you.
To know this is altogether new for a lot of us, this process, but this is altogether new for Kim too, and she's been so eager about the light show and directing all of that and engaging in all of these classes over the last few months and starting to shadow with Carlton here pretty soon. It's refreshing to see that. I love to see everybody's energy, including yours, Kim. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think we need to hear something from the purveyor of low end.
Yes, I agree.
Well, there's been a lot said, and it'd be hard to top anything anybody said, but what kind of strikes me with this whole deal is if you listen to the concept that's going on here, if we were a bunch of high school kids, you'd say, oh, this is going to be, it'd be skeptical, but these are people who've been doing this for a lot of years. They know what works. They've seen it a million times. They've done it a million times. They're old pros. I'd hate to think of the hours and years of miles of talent that have been up here. So I got a lot of faith in them.
Yeah. Thanks, George. And we have the same faith in you, buddy.
Yep, that's right.
Because really, it's all about the bass.
All about
I think it's about the keyboards. We haven't heard about keyboards. Talk to us, Jerry.
One of the things that I love about this opportunity is I'm not a huge tracks fan. And a lot of theaters use tracks with their music, which creates that huge sound. What this theater, we're going to be different than all that. What you hear in the audience is what's being played on stage, 110%.
Mm-hmm.
And that just means a lot, for me, being a musician.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the talent. These guys, man, I mean, I've said it before, I'm very humbled to even be in this position, and I love you guys, and it's going to be a great show. I promise y'all that.
Love to, Jerry.
Yeah.
So what you're actually saying is if these guys mess up, they're going to know it.
I know it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good or bad.
And we don't charge any more.
Yeah. But there's some authenticity to that. When you go somewhere, and I'll give you an idea. I watch the Grand Ole Opry a lot online, YouTube, or the next week. And I sit there and watch all those different musicians that come on and come off of that radio show that's been played since 1928. And these guys, and I've heard Kenny say this, in this show we're going to get to make music together, not manufacture music, but we're going to get to make music together. And there's something that's so, and I've heard my partner Brad say this, so the organic element to this show,
Genuine.
Yeah. That's the part that I'm really excited about. So yeah, if Kenny hits a Z sharp,
but that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
No.
But everybody's you're gonna, when you walk out, you see the drummer playing the drums with no drum condo and none of that. There's a certain feel. Eddie's even said this too. Eddie Hawley. You get that feel, right, Eddie? I mean, you've said that to me before, right? And Eddie's seen so many different acts coming up and down the Grand Strand before in this market, and seen theaters open, go away, and he said that's one of the things that we're going to be able to create here that he hasn't seen before.
And you guys aren't being tethered, because I've worked with so many of you for so many years, and you're tethered to a light special, or you're tethered to a script. and your personalities get to come out, and the personalities are amazing, and people are going to get to see that saw you before that didn't get to see that.
Yeah.
So that's exciting too, I think.
Yep.
They'll get to see some surprises, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That they didn't know we could, whatever they didn't know that we could do,
Impressions.
Impressions, that's right.
Wonderful question. That's because it's going to be a tough one. But what's the biggest challenge that you guys have had pulling a theater like this together?
Brad?
Where's Brad?
Yeah, that probably is a Brad question.
That's Brad's question.
So what was the greatest challenge? That's a tough question. I haven't really had that many. That's what's been amazing about this. I mean, from the very beginning, I tend to, when I get into a project, I tend to go full speed ahead. And, really any kind of problems that come up, we just figure out solutions. And we've had a great team to be able to do that. And it's the partnership that Greg and I have formed. The beautiful thing about it is I think we complement each other really well. My weaknesses are his strengths. His strengths are my weaknesses. And again, it's that no ego. We've bounced ideas off each other. Nobody's feelings have gotten hurt when, their idea it doesn't end up being what we end up doing. And we're still in the midst of that. And I think, the reason that's been is because, we have put the egos aside. We have been humble. We've, relied on the talents and the intelligence of the people that God has put in this. And that's the key thing, is that even at the beginning when we first started talking about this, and Greg and I both came to this property and walked it. And I did my Jericho walk this property 7 times and asked God to, let me know what that vision was, and was it from him? And I got a clear answer, Greg got a clear answer, and from that point on, there was nothing that's going to stand in our way. I'm not going to say we haven't had challenges, but I told Greg, I said, I've done a lot of projects. I refuse to live in fear. If God puts it on my heart to do something, I don't care what happens. I've done projects during pandemics, during recessions. Somebody asked me recently that we were doing an interview for, so what kind of experience do you have in the theater business? I said, I have absolutely none. But my partner tends to have a lot. So again, I rely on my strengths and I rely on his strengths. So.
Thanks, Brad.
All right, this question is for the band. How many different instruments do we have in the band?
Woo! Who gets to start that one? I think.
Well, Greg's got to be included in that too.
Well, but I think Mark Perry's got us all trumped on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's anything that Mark can't play.
Well,
How many, Mark?
Thinking about it right now, some of the songs we talked about and the ideas, I'm sitting at 8 that I'm hopefully going to contribute into the show, and that's just the start. I think Kenny's got a couple as well.
Yeah, a few.
Yeah.
But also, there's some hidden talents that maybe some of you guys don't even know about that's in this band that I'm hoping and praying, and I'll be nudging, to get them pushed out on stage, and that comes from George Hyde back here.
Yeah.
He is a very talented guy, and he's so meek and humble about it. Excellent jazz guitar player.
Yeah.
And I also play some pedal steel. He's never let me hear him, but I'm working on that. And plays bass as well, and keyboard, and that's what he, Here's a concept that I think we need to throw out here for the public to understand. As cliche as it may sound, people like us, we didn't really pick to do this. It chose us. It's inside of us, and I've tried to get away from it countless times, and I can't do it. So, just like George, it's all in him, and that's all he does. And hopefully we'll be able to show off. And, I don't know about Bill and Jerry. I know they're excellent at what they do, but I don't know. You guys got some surprises back there?
Bill's
I
wardrobe.
play 8. I play ride cymbal, hi-hat, snare, kick, tom, floor, couple crashes.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Just not at the same time.
Not at the same time.
I'm working on that.
He plays a great tambourine. He plays a great tambourine.
Tambourine, yeah.
Mean kazoo, huh? And I think you got to know that not just great musicians, but we have some talented singers back here too.
No, you're right.
Yeah, we do have some talented singers back here. So not only you're going to be hearing some instruments, but you might be hearing the vocal instrument as well.
Exactly. You're right.
So,
Does anyone have a pre-show ritual?
Oh, that's
Get here on time.
yeah, that's usually good.
Don't have that one. Right.
so.
Who beats traffic?
I've got one that I always I have to put my right foot, my right shoe, my right boot on first. In fact, if I get into a quick costume change and I start putting the left one on, I have to kick the left one off and then put the right one back on and then put the left one back on again. I have to get it throws off my entire rhythm of the show if I don't put the right shoe on first before I put the left shoe.
And you really want people to know this.
Yeah. You know, I have a pre-show ritual that actually started not too long ago. Never really had one that I can remember, but the barbershop.
Oh man!
So backstage, we will have the barbershop here, right?
Yeah.
And before
Tom and Deby are in the barber chairs.
Yeah, the barber chairs. And when I was doing a show before, I always had to go in the barbershop, hang out with George and Kenny, and solve the world's problems, or listen to Kenny solve the world's problems. But it was if I meant, there's been times where I couldn't go in there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Boys had something that I had to go to and come in late. I didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. So I'm glad that I still got that here, and we added the original barbershop member that will be there with us as well. So
Yeah.
that's going to be my pre-show.
And the barber pole. That
And
will
the
be a
barber
monumental
pole.
day.
The barber pole will be there. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. That's my pre-show.
There is a pole in the show.
There is a pole. Yeah. Not the pole you're thinking of. A different pole.
I was, when I first started working at a different theater with these two guys, I was very, hadn't done much of this type of work. And I couldn't figure it out because right before the show, I was kind of like shutting down and just kind of getting in my own space. These guys are just telling jokes to each other. That's all they do is just laugh, 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 laugh. I'm like, what are these guys doing? That's what they do. That's their pre-show ritual.
Yeah, loosen up.
That's
Yeah.
a great point.
Yeah.
Well, and we used to always have prayer circle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right before curtain,
Yeah.
pretty much.
That's
And we still will.
we still will.
Sure we will.
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I've said this about Farmer too, and he's heard. Dwayne and I have done so many benefits over the years. Served on different boards together, and I always thought, and I know that you all have seen me in an MC kind of role at different times. But when I think of an MC for the show, because I can't think of anybody better to be here, and not only the general manager position, but someone that can actually pick up a microphone, pick up a guitar, and entertain this crowd so incredibly well that will every night have a microphone in his hand to welcome our crowd before the curtain opens. That will be Dwayne, and I can't think of. I mean, I'm so excited that you're here and so confident, of not just what's going on in front of house, but you're the only person that I've ever seen to be able to what you do in front of curtain is as much as important as you do what you do. You're going to be bringing behind the curtain in a production standpoint for welcoming people, making them feel at home.
It's
and kicking
breaking
us
that
down.
ice, and we keep talking about family. They're not just sitting in a chair. Now they're in our living room.
Mm-hmm.
They're, we're entertaining them. There's no background music. It's Kenny on guitar, Bill on drums, Jerry on keyboard. These guys are playing live just for you out there in the crowd, and so I'm out there to get them to realize you're part of the show too. We want them dancing in the aisles. We want them singing along. When you do the Gambler and it's time to hold them, we want to hear that backup out there in the crowd.
Right. Yeah.
We want to hear some holler back. It's all, that's what it's about. Everybody together, family.
Yeah.
I think this pre-show too, Eddie can, we don't want to give everything away, but Eddie has really produced an incredible pre-show that will be unlike any other venue, not only in this market, but I'd say Pigeon Forge, because we've been a lot to those venues as well, Branson, and something that the audience will experience altogether different. So when they come in, Eddie, right, they're not going to be just sitting.
Not just sitting, staring at the watch.
The phone.
Looking around, and well, they're going to be on the phone. Some of them will be.
Hopefully on the app.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
You know, I'll tell you, this is the first time I heard this group, Mosaic, and as far as I'm concerned, it's absolutely the best vocal group I've ever heard.
It is amazing how you guys don't let any song challenge you.
You made like a Will.I.Am beat without using instruments or computers, and that's unheard of.
The winner of MTV's Top Pop Group is Mosaic.
A 21st Century Uber Rat Pack. Coming June 2nd. Mariah Faith, a 2023 American Idol participant, is a Conway local whose soulful country voice is sure to draw you to the edge of your seat with emotion. This rising star is going places. Be sure to watch her shine at the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre. Coming June 23rd. Motown and More, featuring the international dynamic vocal group Legacy. Legacy is a male vocal group composed of triple threat performers that come straight from Broadway and the West End. From the Beatles to Bruno Mars, Motown, and beyond, Legacy has something for everyone. Coming June 30th. Slippery When Wet is the only authorized Bon Jovi tribute to tour the world. With Jason Murray's striking resemblance and powerhouse vocals, this is a night of pure rock and roll. Coming July 7th to the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre. Alex Key is a JMA Male Country Artist of the Year winner and multiple #1 hit songwriter.
You've been sleep talking, you told me everything, and not lie awake and hear the things you say to him in your dreams.
He brings the traditional country sound with his throwback originals, as well as their take on hit covers from the legends.
These butterflies, well, please excuse me, man. I've gone to show my hand for the fool that I am.
Coming July 21st to the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre. Rumors, the ultimate Fleetwood Mac tribute, is a concert that spares no detail. Recreating the band's legendary persona, all in its youthful glory from 1975 to 1987. Coming July 28th to the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre.
Costuming process. How many costume changes will the show have? What's the process of costume changes, that sort of thing?
That's a very good question. We'll be working through that all during the tech process to create opportunities for the costume changes to happen. And when we tack and we look at all the beautiful lights shining on the beautiful costumes, it will make a big impact as well to decide when that will happen.
Will there be more cast members added in the future, Greg?
So Brandy's taking singing lessons. And no, you know, the great thing about this, Debbie, this group of entertainers, singers and musicians, we have found the formula that we really feel like is going to fit the venue, right? And it's also going to give all the entertainers, including the musicians, in this case, a chance to shine. So it's not so large that everybody just gets a couple moments on stage. So what we really want to do is that the audience really has an opportunity to connect to every single entertainer at some point during the show. In other situations, in the past situations and we just haven't had that opportunity. So I think with this size cast, we're going to get a chance to do that. Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
If an entertainer comes into town for a vacation, they're going to be here for a week, and you know them, or they come to the theater, will there be a chance for them to be added to a show if they want to come in and sing a couple of songs? Or
still like Garth Brooks comes to
yeah,
town,
because Garth Brooks comes to town, they'll be able to sing.
Garth, if you're watching, we're inviting you to come to the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre and at least sing one of your greatest hits. We'll have it played. These guys can play everything. So yes, I want that to happen. I'm counting on you, Tom.
Okay.
This one will go to Rob. Rob, what criteria do you use in selecting your guest artists?
Yeah, so we're looking for a variety of acts that ideally Myrtle Beach hasn't seen yet. Some, yes, we'd like to have returning that we know people love and enjoy. So we look for some tribute acts of all different styles, also some established artists who have, really made it in their career and now are touring in the area. We can tap on dates if they're nearby, or up and coming artists that want to, are really getting their start. We have a great country singer named Alex P. He's coming in August, and he's on the rise. He's fantastic. So we want to be a place that we can give those artists a chance to flourish and grow, and as well as acts and tributes that we know people won't get to see anymore because they're kind of, stopping touring or dying off. They're getting older, but yeah, just have a place where our patrons can enjoy that music again. We're also bringing in comedians, and we have a magician that will be here, an illusionist magician who is a celebrity magician, and he will be here multiple nights headlining. Also, some matinees as well to enjoy. So our theater really just wants to provide a diverse variety of entertainment, aside from the Greg Rowles, the Legacy show. So we're so excited about bringing in these acts.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
This question is for the artist. Who are your musical heroes and idols?
I mean, that's a loaded question, right? I mean,
Where do we start?
I grew up in church. Sandy Patty was my first hero.
Same.
I thought I could be her. I wanted to be her. And then you're going from there to Steve Perry from Journey. I wanted to be him also. I loved the Carpenters. I loved Barry Manilow. I mean,
we're at similar ages, so I could have said all of those things. First one, big time Sandy Patty. Barbra Streisand is in there. I kind of went more of a theater route, but yeah, I wanted to be Karen Carpenter. I wanted to be Barbra Streisand. I wanted to be Sandy Patty. And then I got into like a rock phase. So yeah, Journey and Bon Jovi were huge. And then I got into a rap phase. So I didn't ever want to pursue a career in that because not my strength.
Oh, I disagree.
But then that'll be later in the show. And then as I got a little bit older, I got into jazz. So Ella Fitzgerald is a huge favorite of mine. Sarah Vaughan is huge. Dinah Washington, all of those.
I'm crazy about Gladys Knight. She's on the moon.
She's a good one too.
We're kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Which I like.
You want me to go first? I was going to say Greg Rowles, but I guess a musical. No, I think much like Greg, growing up, mom and dad were listening to country music. So Willie Nelson was a huge influence. George Strait was another big one. I know you're a big George Strait fan as well. But later on, it was the Frank Sinatras. It was the Rat Pack. It was the crooners that I really got into it. And Elvis Presley. I was a huge Elvis fan. My mom was a huge Elvis fan. There's even videos, or not video, film of me. I'm dating myself. When I was about 5 or 6 years old, with the Elvis wig and the glasses and the red plastic guitars, singing along with Elvis in the background on the TV at the Aloha Stadium or the Aloha concert. So yeah, those are a few, but I'm sure there's other ones, but yeah, those are the big ones that stick out.
We have a lot in common, like the girls have a lot in
Yes,
common.
I know.
Yeah, so mine are all, I shouldn't say they're all, but I remember going to see Conway Twitty in concert when I was a kid. And I thought, man, there's a lot of girls here to see Conway. And I wanted to be, the best friend a song ever had. And so I love Conway, but it's funny because as I got older, I mean, the stuff that I listen to now, I still listen to some classic country. But I love the crooners too. I just love that music. But I also love the stuff like, Loggins and Messina. Orleans, some of those older groups that we're gonna have a chance to showcase in this show. And when I'm talking about Elvis, because all of us love Elvis on the stage, but our general manager, who's going to be doing some emceeing in this show too, I think is probably the largest Elvis fan that I've ever met in my life, and he's got so many incredible Elvis stories. Because I think he's the only person I know that's ever seen Elvis live, and that's 5 times, and that's Dwayne Farmer. Dwayne, you got to tell that story.
Well, growing up in Mayberry, Mount Airy, North Carolina, we had the cinema downtown, but we had the Brightleaf Drive-In. And at the age of 8 years old, my mother took us to see a double feature, Live a Little, Love a Little, and Speedway. And I saw Elvis on screen. I said, that's who I want to be when I grow up. So years later, when I turned 11, my mother says, hey, you want to go see Elvis in concert? So at the Greensboro Coliseum, I got to see Elvis every year until he passed away. And let me tell you what, this is a beautiful stage. There's lots of lights, but when Elvis came out, they only had one spotlight on him, but you could see everybody in the auditorium because all those flash cubes were going off at the same time. You watch those old films and you'll see the whole room lights up from all those flash cubes because that's how powerful an entertainer he was.
Hey, we'll be back with more insight from the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre cast right after this.
Don't miss Tonight's the Night, the premier Rod Stewart tribute show featuring phenomenal frontman Rob Caudle with renowned special guests Katja Rickerman, Rod Stewart's former sax player, and legendary drummer Carmine Appice, Rod Stewart's former drummer and co-writer of some of Rod Stewart's biggest hit songs. You'll hear all of your favorite Rod Stewart hits performed by Rob Caudle and his amazing band. Tonight's the night.
The Highwaymen, country music's outlaw experience, playing tribute to Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, and Chris Christopherson.
I was a highwayman, along the country I did ride, sword and pistol by my side. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Don't let them pick guitars and drive them old trucks. Let them be doctors and lawyers and such.
Coming August 18th to the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre.
We're the Highwayman Show. Highwayman Show. Thank you so much.
Hank and My Honky Tonk Heroes has been amazing audiences all over the country. The show, as narrated by Jason, is a journey through country music history with Hank Williams' life and music as the focal point.
Coming September 3rd through 7th to the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre.
You know, Nashville is filled with great guitar players, but they'll all tell you that the greatest finger picker of them all is Doyle Dykes, the guitarist that Chet Atkins once said that he would pay to see.
Now,
performing God Bless America from That's Why We Stand. Here's Doyle Dykes.
Coming September 22nd to the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre.
I loved it. I truly enjoyed. I could laugh so hard I cried.
And now, prepare yourselves for personal greatness. The Queen of Southern Sass, the Princess of Polyester, the Doctor of Truth, your white trash wizard of wisdom. Please put your hands together for Anna May!
I know, you're looking at me. I need to get some weight off. I saw Oprah Winfrey, her personal trainer said if you want to lose weight, don't eat 2 hours before you go to bed. I haven't slept in 6 days.
Coming October 5th and 6th to the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre. Coming October 20th to the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre. Coming December 8th to the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre. Prepare to be amazed by the magic of Carl Michael. Carl is a renowned magician and illusionist and will be blowing minds on multiple dates at the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre.
Question is, since the theater is on Main Street, North Myrtle Beach, and this is the home of beach music, will there be a beach music set in the show?
Yes. Yes and yes and yes.
Yep.
One of the, I mean, we're being, right, as you said, Main Street, we have to pay homage to that genre of music. And I can speak for myself, I don't know about everybody else, but with the exception of maybe a season or two, carrying just a little bit of that. I mean, every time I listen to the surf right here, you know, I feel like I'm on vacation. I love it. I love that music. I love the energy. So I think it would be remiss if we did not pay, a little homage to that genre, being right here on Main Street.
I got a feeling you're going to be under the boardwalk and up on the roof.
Right?
Barefooting the whole time.
Yeah.
That's right.
Don't ask me to
With these Carolina girls.
The other part of that question is, what other genres will be covered with the show? I mean, what types of music will be covered?
Well,
It's easier to say what's not being covered.
yeah, what's not being covered. I know that you were going to have some classic rock. There's going to be some obviously rock and roll, country music, obviously as well. There will be some gospel for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say gospel, and I don't know. That's pretty much
A little big band,
Little big band.
jazz,
R&B.
Yeah,
R&B.
R&B,
Yeah.
Sure.
a little disco, maybe.
Maybe.
Some old gold rock and roll from the 50s and 60s.
Maybe.
Yes.
Mark has been continually sending, every time I turn around, Mark is sending something. This would sound great.
Yes.
And again, that's one of the jewels about the show is that as the show continues to grow, we can continue to add music. We don't have to. We're not being dictated a song and then have to do it 220 times, whether it's working or not.
Yeah.
Right. But I think that also keeps it fresh, not just for the audience, but I think that's going to keep it fresh for all of us, and not just on the stage, but out front with everybody's, the entire production staff.
Yeah.
That's here to spectate.
Well,
I want to ask a question to answer this question. My vision here, it made me think of it when Greg said Mark send them stuff. There's this song by Maroon 5 called Sunday Morning or something like that. And I don't care how bad I feel or where I'm at. When I hear that song, I immediately feel good. It's just one of those things, and I'm like, God, I love that song. It makes me feel so good. I think our goal here with all the styles of music that we play is we want everybody to leave here feeling that way.
Mm-hmm.
If they can feel when they leave here like that song makes me feel, we've accomplished everything that we need to accomplish.
That's right.
So that's right. Giving them everything that we can throw at them. Kitchen sink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, in our age now, we're losing so many artists. Every time you turn around, we're losing somebody. Of course, we lost Prince, and then Glenn Frey from the Eagles, and then Tom Petty. The cool thing about this band is they're all your inspirations. And if we get some bad news that week, you know what? We throw that memory right in there that night and say, this is for Jimmy Buffett fans out there because we just lost Jimmy. We get to pay tribute to all of your heroes.
Well, this is for everybody. So, what is your most hated chore at home?
Hated chore.
Why do you think they're all here?
Yeah, exactly.
And not at home.
Yes.
Uh-oh, look at Bill. Bill's got it.
Bill, go.
I actually have two.
Two.
Cooking, which I'm really bad at. But don't ever ask me to cook. And cleaning the cat litter.
Cleaning the cat litter.
Yeah. That's it.
I would have to say, and Chris will back me up on this, is loading the dishwasher.
Hey, how do you? Is it forks up or forks down?
I want to do forks down. She likes it forks and spoons.
My most dreaded
That's so you
chore.
hope you cut yourself when you get there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. My most dreaded chore is unloading how Jason has loaded the dishwasher and redoing it in a way where they all get clean and it makes sense.
My formula is this, right here and in that. That's my formula into there. And she's got it like Tetris.
He wastes real estate. No,
Yes,
I play
I do.
Tetris.
I do.
Yeah.
I hate that. And doing dishes in general.
I'm glad that you guys can be counseled here.
Yes, yes, exactly. This is therapeutic. That's very therapeutic.
Purposely set us on opposite sides.
Yeah, exactly. John did that on purpose. Thank you, John.
on accident.
What my client meant to say.
Yes.
Well, mine is dusting. If anybody knows me, I tend to collect a few items. And my wife, I'm not dusting. You can put all that up you want, but I'm not dusting.
Yeah.
So I hate dusting too. So I just, when it gets dirty, just put it all in a box, put more stuff on the counter.
Yeah.
Girls.
Folding laundry.
Oh, yes. Got a lot of it.
Laundry. When it comes out of the dryer, if I have something that I'm doing, it probably won't get folded for a week.
Yeah.
If I can do it right then, maybe. But probably not gonna happen.
You should see the back of our couch. We have two boys and clothes and my clothes, and it's all nice but not folded.
And covered in dog hair.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love doing everything around the house because I have to do it. No, my husband helps out a lot. I think my worst thing is probably having to clean my floors.
Oh, yeah.
Don't like to do the floors. And they get really dirty.
Mine would have to be taking out the trash because everybody stuffs everything in
Oh,
there.
yeah. Everybody stuff in the trash.
And then you're trying to like take the bag out and it's busting up. Yeah. So.
All of a sudden, it's turned to a dating game, a game show. Does anybody? So we've got grandpuppies, and just 2 days ago, one of them threw up on the kitchen floor, and I have to get Brandy to do it because I'm a sympathy heaver. I'm a sympathy hurler.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start hurling, I'm gonna hurl with you.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
My wife will tell you the same thing about me. I can change diapers all day long, but when no. What about you? What is your
When I have to get up in the morning.
What is
In
chore?
the morning
Or
is
the-
the
oh,
key.
that's right. 'Cause you get up in the afternoon.
I get up around 1. I don't go to sleep till 6. So
Wow.
That's probably what.
if I have to get up, it's just, yeah, that's painful. That's a chore.
Hey, I got a true story about Dustin. But it's hilarious, and it's true. Shell's uncle was like a house husband. He stayed at home. He was a great cook. He was a great cook. He done all the cooking, all the cleaning, and she had a job, you know, just modest living. He was one of the funniest guys I ever met when he was alive. He's passed on now. I went over to his house one day, and he was cooking, and I walked in and said, "Tommy, it smells good in here, man." He said, "Yeah, I got some beans cooking up, whatever." He said, "I got to get these chores done before my wife gets home." And my mom was a whatnot freak. And we had to move every little whatnot and dust when we were growing up, and I hated it too. And so Tommy's got these shelves in his house, and he's got these little ceramic whatnots everywhere, and he just gets his duster, and I said, "Oh, be careful, man. You gonna knock those off? Be careful, Tommy." He goes, "No, man, I glued them on." I'm like, "You're kidding me." He goes, "No, everyone in his house was glued down." So he just came through with the duster.
Zorro.
Just use a blower.
Great idea.
I'm gonna use that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I guess this is another one for the entire group. Was your best and worst gig?
I think my worst gig was we played for a donkey softball game when I was, I don't know, I think I was 14 years old. And I thought my dad was, I thought he was making this up. I said, "Where are we going to play?" He said, "We're going to play for a donkey." So we opened up this, if you can imagine how slow the game was. And we were slower than that, trying to get everybody, you know. So we were sitting out on one of these little, like they made a stage with the sheet, you know, the plywood. So we stood out there and played 45 minutes to the crowd of, I don't know, 36 people that gathered for, and that was the people watching their husbands up on top of these donkeys play softball. And I thought, I have never seen anything more ridiculous. But that was probably one of the worst gigs, because the smell on the, you know, you can imagine that too. It was very organic.
But what was the best one?
The best one.
This one.
Is this one? I haven't played it yet.
That's the big answer for
Everybody's,
that.
that's everybody's best answer.
I think
Vatican, maybe.
the Vatican was a real cool one. I remember being on stage at the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, yeah.
And singing a duet with Porter Wagner, who was
yeah.
my hero.
Yeah, yeah.
But Porter, what happens when you play the opera, and Cindy can attest to this because she's played the opera too, you usually get 2 songs to sing, and you walk out on the circle there where all your heroes have sung, Hank and Patsy and all those folks. And it was a Saturday night Opry, and Bob Whitaker said, "Why don't you come and play the Saturday night Opry?" So I'm playing there in front of 4,400 people. And after I finished my 2 songs, I walked off the stage like I was scripted to do. And then Porter Wagner says, "Greg, come on back here. Come on back." So what are you doing? Porter Wagner says, "Come on back." He said, "I want to sing a duet with you." I'm thinking, what is going on? What are we doing? He said, "Let's sing Y'all Come. Y'all come, y'all come, oh, y'all come to see him." Because we used to sing that out in the park, Opryland Park. So, well, the only thing we ever sung was "Y'all come. Y'all can." We sang the chorus of this thing. So he sang the first verse, and then I sang the chorus with him. And then he looked at me for verse 2, and he said, "Greg, take it." And my dad was sitting there right where Jared is, videotaping, because back then you could videotape. My dad moved away from the camera. He moved away from the camera like,
I want to see this with my own eyes.
because I was sitting there in front of 4,400 people going, I didn't know the words. So then, to add insult to injury, Porter is now trying to tell me the words in my ear to sing along.
Yeah.
So, and they had a cascading curtain too. So that curtain lowered right after that. And that curtain hit the floor, and Porter turned to me and said, "Greg, next time we'll sing something you know." Ha! And he walked off stage. I wanted to kick him right in the shin. True story.
Yeah.
Great.
Mine had to be the graduating class of the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Clowns at Wolf Trap in Virginia at night, and it was hot. And it was just myself and one other wardrobe person backstage, and we were just the two of us right behind there, and these clowns with shoes like this big, and all their stuff was set up on these chairs. There was like 20 on her side and 20 on my side, and they would just run by and throw stuff at us because they were changing as they were running and coming on and doing different stuff coming across the stage. And then you had to run over and put some of them on stilts. And it was just, we were all falling down. We had clothes piled up all over us. It was, that show finished and we were like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
It was a lot of clowns.
I don't like clowns.
A lot of people.
Clown phobia.
Yeah.
And your best one?
Oh, my best one? I have to say it was Christmas in Washington, Christmas show that they used to film. They don't do it anymore. That was a really fun show, and I just happened to get assigned to Reba McEntire, and it was like working with my big sister. She was so kind and so nice, and she kept yelling at Norval to carry all my stuff and do my job, and that's when, you know, her husband, she's been there too. So that was really fun, and my big sister was working it with me, and Reba kept going, who's that woman looking at us over there? I said, don't pay any attention to her. She's nobody. But we finally brought her into our circle, and it was really fun. It was a good night.
What is Dwayne most known for?
Well, running my mouth. I hope I'm known for being a nice person. I was raised, you know, Southern Baptist and also / Pentecostal Church of God with my grandmother, and the golden rule was taught for me from way back. You know, you treat people how you want to be treated, and I've tried to go through my whole life being nice to people and treating them like that. But most people know me either doing Elvis or, you know, whatever job I'm doing. And for the last 23 years, I was in the movie business, so a lot of people know that's Mr. Farmer, you know, because I ran the movie business, and, you know, that's I ran into Greg there and his Fun Fan Five, and you know, we just latched on. But I'd like to be known as a nice person who can carry on a good conversation. And and I back in the 80s when I lived here in Myrtle Beach, I DJ'd at Mother Fletcher's, and the guy who was in charge before me, Roy McLeod, he had his own little persona, and when he went to go to Streamers, I became the DJ, and I didn't have a persona, but I collected Batman comic books, and I really liked Batman, so I got me some Batman turntable covers, and then people would come see that, and they started bringing me little Batman toys. Next thing you know, ladies and gentlemen, Batman. So that became my alter ego on the radio, because nobody ever saw me during the daytime. I was like, yeah, I slept till 2 o'clock, and I only came out at night. So when I go on the radio station with KZQ and them, you're jamming live with the Batman down at Mother Fletcher's, and so it kind of stuck, and I now have a collection of Batman comics, statues, and toys, and along with my other collections. So it kind of stuck, and as you can tell, I got my Batman bracelet on, so that's custom made. So
That's cool.
Batman.
Speaking of radio, a lot of people don't know that Eddie was a DJ for a while, for a long time. And we would like to know if you can share the story about playing a certain record for 3 weeks in a row.
Wow, how did you know that? Greg Rowles?
Somebody's telling stories.
It's one of my favorite Eddie Hawley stories.
I worked for a radio station in Fayetteville, Mix 96. Flaming 100,000 watt top 40 station. It was great. Thousands and thousands of listeners. And new owners came in and bought the station. And they changed the format. They got us all together and they said, starting tomorrow, we're going to be Louis 96.5. All Louis, Louis all the time. That's all you're going to play. You know the song Louis, Louis, nee, 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 nee. And you got to do it live. And this isn't 24 hours. This is going to be forever and ever and ever. Louis Louis is about 2 minutes and 40 seconds, which means we're going to play it between 25 and 30 times an hour, which means we're going to play it about 100 times per shift. Forever and ever and ever. So, yeah, man, that was pretty grueling.
You got paid for this.
We did.
How long did that last?
It started, when it started, we were all very lethargic, because we had to do it live. I mean, we had to intro it and outro it. You come on and you go, we all did the same. Louis 96.5, all Louis, Louis, all the time. Here's the Kingsman and Louis, Louis, Louis 96.5. Nee, 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 nee. You come on afterwards and you go, Louis, Louis, on Louis 96.5, all Louis, Louis, all the time. Here's the Kingsman and Louis, Louis. Nee, 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 nee. So after about 2 or 3 days, we obviously had no listeners. Nobody's gonna listen to that horrible song. So I thought, man, I'm just gonna yak it up, man. I just, nobody's listening. I don't care. I'm just gonna yak it up and just to entertain myself because there were no listeners. So I would come on and I might do some of the old stuff I did, like a weather tease. I might come on and go, Louis 96.5, all Louis, Louis, all the time, the greatest rock and roll song ever recorded. All right, Fayetteville, we're down to 36 degrees. We're going to bottom out at 28 tonight. That puts a snuggle factor at about 6 when that happens. Your complete Louis 96.5 weather forecast coming up at the bottom of the hour. Right now, we'll take you back to 1963. This is Jack Eli singing lead with the Kingsmen and Louis, Louis on Louis 96.5. I remember too, I was a big fan of a guy named Broadway Bill Lee out of New York. I think it was at Z100 New York. I used to study this guy's tapes. He was amazing. He was a freak. He used to speak in rhymes. Everything he said rhymed. And I listened to this guy and I thought, well, I'm going to throw a little Broadway Bill Lee on my pretend audience. So I would come on and I would say, Louis 96.5, all Louis, all the time. My name's Eddie Hawley. You know I knew I never grew up to be a butcher, baker, or L.A. Laker. I'm pretty satisfied being a mover, a shaker, a baby maker, and a request taker. And this one comes off the request line. It's the Kingsman and Louis. And I had friends call up. I would call friends and I would record them requesting the song. So Louis 96.5, all Louis, Louis all the time. Let's go to the request lines. How would you like to hear? Yeah, do you have the Kingsman and Louis here? So to answer your question, it did turn out to be a gimmick. We knew, the air staff knew it because the consultant they hired was the #1 oldies consultant in the country. So we knew we were going to go to oldies. And what radio stations did is they would flush the old audience. They usually just go dark. So people would just go away after a while. But instead of going dark, we played Louis Louis. And it was supposed to be for 2 weeks. Something happened, ended up being for 3 weeks.
Oh, God.
Then we switched to oldies. They fired us all. I came to Myrtle Beach, got on at Wave 104, and here I am with you fine folks.
First song you played? Can you also say that was your worst gig?
Oh, God.
Cue the house music, Rob.
Yeah, see, I mean, I shouldn't even tell the story because I'll probably be backstage and I'll walk by Jerry Lane and he'll see me and he'll start going, nee. And it'll spin me in some kind of cosmic bunny hole.
All right, I would like to know, with all the talent that's sitting here, the cumulative amount of years that you people have been been professional entertainers. If we could just go one by one, and I'd like to add them up and just to see how many years we have sitting here.
Abacus.
When professional means you get paid for it?
Get paid for it.
Okay.
And you don't have to be a lot. Trust me, it probably wouldn't.
Are we paid in money?
Paid in money. Not food, not beer.
Cheeseburgers count?
Yeah, not cheeseburger.
Wait a minute, let's clarify this. Does that have to be like full-time, like?
No, I don't think, no. It could be weekend warriors, it could be, not full-time.
And you can't do it for exposure. This will be good exposure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need about 300 exposures.
What about if you were in the gospel? I know this is getting deep, but I'm just trying to be honest.
Did you get paid for it?
Well, my dad would never accept money because he didn't believe that it was right. We worked with groups that got paid, but my dad said, if you want to take up a love offering for us, that's fine. But I don't believe in taking money for doing the Lord's work.
I think that's professional.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to help our situation out real good here.
Yeah, that's right. Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to be putting out a love offering.
So yeah, you can count that.
You got that.
Who's going
Greg,
first?
go ahead, Greg.
45 for me.
And it's 30 for me.
All right. Mark? 20 for me.
52.
Wow.
33.
47.
Woo! 45, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
37.
31.
I guess about 10 with Jerry. Yeah.
40.
Oh, I don't know. I'm the youngest one here, so my number will be the.
Well, throw that in our face.
I'm not this one here.
You say getting paid for it, so for me, it's been 45 years.
32.
32. Brenna.
I don't know. I'll say 5.
Okay, 5.
Okay.
5 years.
All right.
Rob Welchel. 13.
Yeah.
John Finley.
6 months.
We'll round you up to a year.
We'll round it up.
6 months and 6 days, 4 hours.
Is anybody doing the math?
I think Brett.
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
Brad's getting it.
Anyone else?
I think that's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
It's a lot.
How many years?
I got 485 and a half.
We'll round up. 486.
486 years.
That's
Wow.
Oh, because
That's a lot of cheese.
I remember when I started in picture shows.
In the talkies. I was in the talkies.
I was in the talkies.
In the talkies.
No walkers on stage.
Yes.
Yet.
Yet.
That should be another answer to the what makes our theater different. We're probably the oldest.
We are the most seasoned.
Combined, we have 485 years experience.
Yes.
Put that on the billboard.
Name a song that we don't know.
We hope you guys have had as much fun tonight as we have. And remember, we're looking forward to seeing you April 1st right here at the Greg Rowles Legacy Theatre.